Don't let your car battery go flat with that light on.
Okay, I'll switch it off after. I'll switch off now then.
Are your keys in the ignition, man? You've seen Breaking Bad, yeah?
No, they're not in the ignition.
Do you want to come to my house and record this rather than sit in the car?
That's why I came out to the car, because I just want to...
Kind of like touching myself in the car late at night.
There's definitely going to be a knock from a police officer.
I mean, it's so funny if Shafi gets arrested during this
Imagine
episode.
that. What are you doing? I'm recording a podcast, mate. Fucking name
Dave,
now. Get out of the car.
Text the police saying there's this Bangladeshi bloke hanging around in the car for 2 hours.
And we've got a special guest tonight. His name's PC Denham. Hey, how are you, buddy? What's your favourite Predator film? Hey?
You're the Predator.
What, you getting me in handcuffs?
This is catch a paedophile from the catch Shafi.
To catch a predator.
Okay, no. Well, that's the intro. Brilliant.
What's up, everyone? I'm Shafi Malik, and you're listening to the Who Dropped the Popcorn podcast. The premise is simple. One of us picks a film that the others haven't seen. We all watch it and come here to discuss it. Joining me tonight is Dave McHugh.
You can run, but you can't hide from the West Side. Night Stalker, shit talker, run.
Andy Newlands.
I'm smarter than your average bear.
And all the way from the somewhat north of England, Kyle Hammond.
Shafi, you son of a bitch.
You pencil
The
pushing
CIA
bitch.
got you pushing too many pencils.
This is some terrible impressions.
Yeah, but your Arnie impression is not better either.
My Yogi Bear impression was amazing. What are you on about?
They're all terrible. You son of a bitch.
I did explain the premise of one of us picking a film that the others haven't seen, but however, tonight's another bonus episode. Tonight is another bonus episode where we are going to be talking all things Predator with the release of 2022's Prey. All of us are very keen on the franchise.
Yeah.
And we thought we would...
Pre-1991. Yeah.
We were all very excited about this new Predator film coming out. So we decided to kind of do a bonus episode on Predator. Let's talk about how keen we are. Let's talk about how keen we are on Predator, full stop. So, Kyle, do you want to start about when you first watched that first Predator film and what has been your relationship with the franchise since?
Another memory test.
No fucking memory test.
Honestly, mate.
I can't remember. I don't know.
Literally no idea when I first watched the first one. I might have seen the second one before I saw the first one, actually.
Oh, wow.
Just because might have been on ITV or something. Yeah, literally, I have no recollection. Although I've rewatched 1 and 2 over the last few days.
So what films have you rewatched? What films have you watched or rewatched over the past few days?
So I've rewatched 1 and 2. For the first time, I watched The Predator because I'd never seen it because the reviews were junk and Dave said it was junk and pretty much everyone said it was junk. So
it is.
Never bothered.
Everyone was right.
I better watch it. And guess what? It's not very good.
The opening sort of 5-10 minutes pretty good.
And what about Predators?
Yeah, I didn't really like Predators either. I watched that when it came out. So when it first came out on home release.
Probably about 10 years.
2010, 2011. Yeah, I didn't like it. When I like it when there's a sole guy or a group of guys against one predator. As soon as you bring in multiple predators, I'm just like, don't care.
Yeah. And how about you, Andy? Do you remember the first time you saw the first Predator?
No, I don't remember the first time, but I do know it's a bit like, what's that film that I love, that space film that I always go on about?
Event Horizon.
Yeah. So this is another Event Horizon. I just watched this over and over and over again. There's nothing wrong with Predator. It is one of the greatest films ever. But I kind of like the franchise apart from The Predator. Predator 2 is pretty cool. I quite like Predators. I know it's a bit
Some
off
people
there.
do like it, man. It's got its fun.
Yeah, I just kind of like Adrian Brody. I thought was just a bit of a badass motherfucker. I just like the idea. But yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Predator, Predator 2, Predators, The Predator, and yet this one doesn't have the Predator in it. I don't know what else they could do to get the Predator in this title. Maybe the first Predator or Predator Begins or something, but I like the way they went with Prey. But yeah, Predator, I kind of think maybe this might have been the first film that made me talk about films with people. I remember talking to Dave a lot about how good Predator is in the pubs, which is mental because I appreciate this came out in 1987.
Andy, I think the first time you started talking about films with people was when I recommended you The Usual Suspects. The Usual Suspects.
Oh, fucking hell, Kaiser Soze. Yeah, that's absolutely... Do you know what? You're absolutely on the money with that. You're absolutely on the money with that. That is true. That got me into films, that film, so well done.
How old were you, like 13 or something? 13
yeah,
maybe?
it was because films, it was Usual Suspects, probably Jurassic Park, those little ninjas.
Which we watched in the cinema together as well.
Yeah. I'm sure we ruined that for a lot of people in the cinema, but we were young, so whatever. But yeah, don't know, Chef. Don't know the original time, but I just know whenever I saw it, it's next level, and it's just one of those films you can just pick it up from anywhere. 10 minutes in, 60 minutes in, it doesn't matter.
Oh, you can. That's
it's
a good point,
always
actually.
good.
Yeah,
it's good, isn't it? It just doesn't matter.
It's quite often on ITV2. If it's on, I thought, fuck it, I'll watch the rest of it.
Yeah.
Even with like 15 minutes left, you're like, all right, we're at the good bit. Let's just crack on.
Yeah. It's so weird how some films have that ability.
Having said
that,
here
we go. Here we go.
Original,
calls me a twat. Here we go.
That first Predator.
Yeah.
You can say you can kind of go. Well, you can tune into it any time, but if you've missed the opening intro of that film, you've lost because
but I mean, if you've seen it, if you've seen it once.
I'm just saying though. I love watching that opening. The Little Richard while they're on the listening to Little Richard while they're on the helicopter.
Yeah, that is true.
And Shane Black tells the joke about the pussy and then Jesse Ventura offers the tobacco. And he says,
"Goddamn,
it's going to make you a sexual tyrannosaur." Like it, and then it gets to that shot that Dave reminded me of. Dave showed a screenshot, and now it's his background on the phone, and I completely forgot what it was. But that's such a cool shot as well. It's basically a silhouette. So the helicopter lands, and there's a silhouette of every character, leaving that helicopter, and while the credits, and then Arnie's with his cigar, and it's just that is just what you call a great intro. But anyway, sorry.
I also thought with Predator, I remember thinking like, holy fuck, like Arnold Schwarzenegger's acting, I really liked in this. I was like, he wasn't like in Conan and all this stuff. I was like, this guy's a bit of a joke, but like in Predator, I just thought, wow, this I fucking totally believed Arnold Schwarzenegger was this badass mother. All the characters, in fact, like all of them. So, yes, to answer your question, Chef, I don't know exactly when I watched it for the first time, but whenever I did, it had a massive impact on me. It's first class, top class.
It's got so many quotable lines as well. That film is ridiculous.
It's just amazing.
It's so good. Amazing.
I'd say that a lot of 80s Arnie films do, but yeah, this is up there.
Was this his biggest grossing movie then? Had he done any massive films before? I know he'd done films before this, but Predator's up there in my view of Arnold's catalogue, and this was pretty early in his.
Yeah, Terminator.
But maybe Terminator.
First Terminator, wasn't it? Yeah.
He looks pumped in this as well. He's just
he looks amazing.
The best Arnold's ever. That bit where he high fives Dylan. I don't know if there's a film where Arnold looks any better than that.
So apparently they all became the biggest they ever got because there was so much competition between them. They're all like, I've got to be the biggest guy on set. So they all just got something huge.
Yeah, but also they were doing.
Wow.
Also between takes, they were doing competitions of who could lift the heaviest bench press as well.
Okay.
That's quality. That's what you want on a film set like this.
I know.
So, Andy, what Predator films have you seen then?
I've seen all of them, mate.
So even the versus Alien ones as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But long time ago, but the ones that I remember more is 2, The Predators, because I've just seen that. That just seemed to be, like Carl was saying before, like sometimes ITV or just replay these movies all the time randomly on a Sunday. But yeah, Prey for me, though. Like Predator, I don't think you can beat Predator. And we'll talk about this later, but Prey's the next best thing.
Okay. So you need to remember this moment, though, because you always put yourself down about the fact you haven't seen any films, but I haven't seen all the Predator films.
Yeah, but I went to university, so I've just got those lads to thank for that. That's the sort of shit that goes on.
Okay, all right.
There's nothing to do with me.
I thought you were playing spin the ball. Okay, so
Sticky biscuit.
What, university? You're not 15 when you go to university. You're mental. Sticky biscuit. No, thank you.
That's what all London college students do, don't they?
Yeah,
I don't know. Nothing to me.
And what do they do in the north? Do they just suck each other's dicks?
Dave went and lost. That's why I only lasted one day. I can't hack this.
Dave, what?
Kyle is coming, Jon Snow. Sorry, this is getting well out of control.
That's very good. So, yeah, that's what Jon Snow said. Dave, what do you remember the first time you watched
Kyle
the first
calls
Predator?
his dick.
Kit Harington's not even Northern, so you can all fuck off.
You can fuck off because Kit Harington's not Northern.
You bastards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Segue.
Dave, when was the last? Do you remember the first time you saw the first Predator?
Absolutely. It's actually the first 18 I watched, and it was sort of on a VHS, real McCoy copy. So I watched it with my dad in sections. So he was like, this is the only way we're going to watch it, and sort of monitor me, I guess. But it was weird because it's quite straight to a lot of films. But yeah, I managed to get The Predator. Like, brilliant. But again, like we've had that discussion before.
How old were you?
I was probably about 8 or 9. Yeah, sort of just before I came to Jersey.
Right,
so
I'm going to watch it with Ethan tomorrow then.
Yeah,
that's quality knowledge.
Because, like we've said before, it's nothing, it's violence, isn't it? There's nothing too underhand or stuff like that, or sort of sexual weird metaphors or anything. It's just violence. So I don't think it's any real harm in that.
It didn't freak you out?
No, not really. Like, the thing that scared me was when you see through the Predator's eyes. That sort of freaked me out a bit. But,
so good.
Yeah, but it just felt like a mad action film, didn't it? Because you were watching badass 80s cartoons, so it wasn't really any that different from Momra and shit like that. So
yeah, to the max.
So Predator 1 is one of my favorite films ever. It has everything. It has memorable characters, unique characters, a great script. Arnie is Oscar-winning performance. It's unreal. I've seen it at least 50 times.
Well
Predator
said.
2, I'm a huge fan of. Apart from just that point where the Predator sort of falls into that old lady's apartment, I just feel like the Predator should have been just chased back to the ship. But I still love that film. And when Danny Glover faces up with Gary Busey in that sort of stairwell, I think that's one of the finest scenes in cinema history. I've never seen someone give someone such a fucking hiding. I just love that scene.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
that's so good, because obviously Gary Busey's a big motherfucker, but he just, fuck me, Danny Glover just pummels him. And I obviously remember Danny Glover from Lethal Weapon films, but it's almost like that's a different actor. It's just like, how is that Sergeant Murtaugh? It's just incredible. He's like a different person. He's just such a badass. Yeah. And then as for Predators, I watched it today actually, and I've always a bit disappointed with it, especially towards the end. I felt the Predators became douchebags and got killed quite easily. And where the hell did those grenades come from? Why would they have grenades with them? So Predators doesn't sit quite right with me, but it's pretty awesome up to a point. And the Predator is garbage, apart from the first 5 or 10 minutes. And
so shit, isn't it? It's
so unbelievably bad, that film. It's
How to get autism wrong, honestly.
Yeah, and like
so angry about
that. It's like such an obvious joke, but if I'd captured a predator, I wouldn't just have the predator just on a sort of table in front of me with a few seatbelts over it. I'd have it in a cage, in another cage, and then one more cage around that cage because it's a fucking predator that wants to kill everyone.
Underground, in an underground cage.
Yeah, exactly. And then a big glass dome around it, and then a magneto shield as well. And then maybe I'd start monitoring it. But like the fact that it's just there, just like in kind of like Deep Blue Sea when there's just gigantic great white shark just ready to bite you. So that really pissed me off. That was a bad film. But
I'll segue quickly, Dave.
I love
that scene in X-Men 2 where Magneto's in that glass cage and Mystique injects iron into that guy's blood, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then he walks in and he's like, something's different about you, and just pulls all the iron out of his blood and just destroys it. Fucking quality.
I know. How can you think that stuff up? That is just beyond genius, isn't it? Yeah. And then Alien versus Predator, no film can live up to that. But it's sort of popcorn watchable. And Alien versus Predator Requiem is, if you just watch the Predator, that is the most badass Predator.
One. I watched the first 20 minutes and turned it off.
Honestly, Carl, sit through it, endure it, because that is the most badass Predator that's ever been on film. Out of every single one, that is a Predator that's sort of sent in to clean up when shit goes down. He just fucks everyone up, fucks up aliens, fucks up everyone. And he is such a fucking badass. He is the John Wick of Predators. He is the Equalizer of Predators.
I read a funny tweet that said Predators are basically they're just like a normal alien race, but the characters you see in these films are basically collectible geeks that come to Earth and just collect stuff. and basically the rest of the aliens on the planet are just sort of looking at them disapprovingly, like, oh, fucking hell, Larry's at it again. Like, oh. Andy, do you agree with what Dave said about the Alien vs Predator films?
Yeah, he's bang on the money. Kyle, just give it a go.
So the first one I watched at the cinema, and I thought it was
all
right.
But
but when I've looked back, like it was all practical effects, wasn't it? Pretty much. So props. Apparently, the Queen Alien was the most expensive, or was it the most expensive, or the most complex, like robotic, whatever. Even more so than the T-Rex in Jurassic Park.
Oh. No, to be fair, that does look good, doesn't it? The Queen Alien,
it does
especially
look good,
when it's caged up.
They're not canon, though, are they? Those films anymore? Didn't Prometheus render them no longer canon? And I suppose we may talk about this later, but did Prey render it?
What is canon? What is canon? I mean, who has the right to say something's canon and not canon? What, the original screenwriter of the first Predator film?
Yeah, I mean this is Fox as well. Look at what they do with X-Men. Fucking shit show.
Canon. That word is that word is irrelevant now because nothing really matters anymore, does it? We're all going to die.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
I have a problem with people making friends with a predator. I know it's usually enemies, my friend. But I just feel it cheapens it a bit when the predator becomes friends with a human. So like Predators is guilty of that. Alien versus Predator is guilty of that. And I just find it difficult. I could understand a predator not killing you because you're either no threat or it respects you so much, but being busy mates.
And the predator as well, Dave.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
He gives him that robot predator suit, doesn't he?
The predator should just be a cold-hearted killer at all times. None of this empathy.
I think I've got a comment to make that, but I think it goes into the Prey territory, so we'll go into that. But back to you, Kyle. What were your expectations of Prey? Were you looking forward to it? What?
It's probably one of those where you sent the trailer and you were like, "Holy fuck balls" or whatever. I was just like, "Yeah, another trailer. I'm sure it's going to be not very good." It's only when was it Comic-Con a few weeks ago and everyone was like, "Holy fuck balls, this is like the nuts." I was like, "Okay, right, let's give this a go." Same with Maverick. It's just like, I'll wait and see what everyone else says first, decide whether I waste time and money watching it.
Yeah,
but yeah, I did think the trailer looked good, but weird thing trailers, aren't they? Can you really trust them?
Yeah,
I'm assuming Dave, you didn't watch the trailer.
No, I might have watched it for about 3 minutes. Just to get a taste. I watched a tiny bit of it just for the taste. But yeah, I tuned out.
And how about you, Andy?
What's the question?
Were you kind of looking forward to this, or did you have any expectations at all, or
to the max? Yeah, when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh my god, this might live up to Predator. I just thought they got it right. Just chucking Predator in like a fucking random time in history. Like, oh god, they could absolutely nail this. And obviously,
but so easily get it wrong as well.
They could actually as well, yeah. But because they did that with the Predator, I thought, oh fuck, they might actually fucking reignite this franchise here. Because the franchise to me was like, it was probably dead. I was like, oh, they've done it now. Like they can't. But this is a game changer. So I was well up for this. Hence why I hosted the party.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to let the viewers know that me and Dave went over to Andy's house to on opening night to
so watch you spent 28 quid on a takeaway. Was it insane?
Spent 28 on a quid.
I spent £7.50.
You won't let
that go. Mental amount of money spent on yourself.
Not 28 quid. Anyway.
No. I had sausage and chips. And then Dave's was a tenner. And I got Jensen chocolate.
Oh yeah, and fucking Northern Monkey fucking here. Come watch it, bro.
So
no, I watched it on the Saturday. Yeah, the Saturday. Yeah.
So Kyle watched it by himself because he doesn't have any friends. So
I like how we described it as a party. The three of us watched Parade together and had a takeaway. Yeah,
Did you all sit on the settee together again and hold?
No, I don't know why. Like, it's so outrageous. It should always be free on the sofa.
I don't know why Andy didn't want to sit with us.
It's not comfortable. I don't want to sit that close to you lot on a fucking sofa. Are you mental? I've got two sofas.
What are you afraid is going to happen?
Exactly.
Well, you weren't on the sofa. You were in the kitchen eating your fucking 8 chickens or whatever the fuck you ordered from Jersey Lily. Fucking hell.
You owe me 8 chickens. You can't. Guess that quote. I don't. So anyway,
that's mental.
Okay, and how about you, Dave? Did you have any sort of expectations in this film? Or?
Yeah, I've always got to be so careful because I've been burned so many times with these franchises on both sides, with Alien as well. But
and Terminator, because class that in with it.
I guess. But I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I like Alien 1, 2, 3, and 4. I love, but yeah, it's more the sort of Predators and the Predator and AVP Requiem as well. I've been like, oh fuck. But yeah, literally from seeing just that screenshot that Carlos has got in the background there, I was like, ooh, I'm fucking really excited about this. And
so you need to explain that to the viewers.
The one where you can sort of see, everyone will know which one I'm talking about, like the Predator in the background, and she's facing the other way with her bow and arrow, and it just looks misty and haunting.
What's her name?
I've forgotten. Naru.
Naru.
That's it. Yeah. Sorry. Yes.
So just going back to what Kyle said about when he mentioned that he felt just as burned with Terminator. I think there's a big difference between these two franchises, because I think at the end of that first original Predator and at the end of Predator 2, it's almost like you watch those films and go, well, I'm ready for another one. Let's see what other environment you can put the Predator in. Where Terminator 2 is different, which is what I've always said right from the beginning, is that the arc ends at Terminator 2. I know everyone's going to, well, actually no, because Judgment Day is inevitable. So, but still, that was it made it. Those first two films made that story finite. I don't give a shit what you say about Judgment Day being inevitable.
Finite.
No, but finite. That's wow.
Finite.
That's how my chemistry teacher pronounced it. Finite.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, you pronounce it like an American. But anyway, so
who the fuck was your chemistry teacher?
A London teacher.
Wow,
Mr. Lynch.
I didn't know you did chemistry in London.
Yeah. Anyway, so
what have you done with that? What have you done with that?
I don't know.
Well, that's a bit
what
weird.
Covalent bond is? Do you want to know what covalent bond is? Or
chemistry in London.
But that's the thing. I mean, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm mad saying that, but that's how I feel. Is that I feel like Predator? I feel like Predators films can go up. You can spend years and years, releasing new Predator films and make it sort of interesting. Like have the monster in a different environment with different characters and different protagonists. But to Terminator, as I said, like that I do not need to see any further Terminator films after Terminator 2. Wow. I brought about some silence.
No, I'm nodding. I'm nodding. Sorry, yeah.
No, I agree with you. You're
You
completely
could
on the
say
money.
it's parallel universes and stuff like that, and maybe occasionally the humans win and stuff. But because, of course, the circle always exists, it kind of puts the world into a time loop, doesn't it? Where you go back and create yourself. So it's really weird. Like,
just talk me through this chemistry
predestination.
thing. So when you were in London, what else did you do?
I did English, biology, and chemistry.
Yeah, I remember. Okay, this is fucking incredible. I knew English and biology, but the chemistry thing. So did you want to go into?
Biggest waste of my life. Just wasting my time.
Really.
Yeah. When we were learning it, we would sort of just look at each other and go, "Are we actually going to apply this in real life? Like, why are we learning this?"
So what college was that?
It's a school called John Lyons School.
Was that when you worked at Blockbusters?
No, that was just before Blockbusters, because I started that when I was at uni. I started Blockbusters when I was at uni.
I miss that place so much.
Which Blockbuster did you used to go to?
The one in near Africa House in Jersey, near the Odeon.
Oh right, yeah.
It was massive. It was so good down there. Like
it was huge, that one.
That
was
I
fantastic.
hardly went to that one. I used to just go to that Columbia one. Just there.
The best places I've ever been to like that was Don. You introduced me to a place called Don Road. We used to hire games, and there was another place. Maybe that was Don Road as well, but that was closer to the Dyke Track down.
Yeah, that's where he moved.
I used to go to the one that was. Don't know why I'm saying this because I can't even fucking remember the name. Near People's Park, whatever that was called.
There was one near People's Park.
People's Park.
You mean Don Rose Video?
No.
People's Park by the hospital.
Yeah, there used to be a Blockbuster there. That's
Blockbuster.
Let me look what road it was on. Hold on. Fuck me, this is all getting edited out, but whatever.
Well, that's the thing.
Oh no, this is great stuff. This is brilliant stuff.
Why Andy starts asking about my chemistry teacher? And
this is great. People want to learn about us, right?
Like little news agents used to have like their own video rental section, didn't they? Like that's mad.
So Cheapside, there was a Blockbuster on Cheapside.
Holy
really?
Fuck,
that's what I used to go to. Yeah.
No, there
where
wasn't.
That was.
There was a Blockbuster on Cheapside.
The Cars looked it up on Google, but then Dave still refuses to believe.
No.
No way.
I'm googling this. Hold on.
Honestly, keep this all in, Carl. This is gold. For all our Honduras viewers who want to come to Jersey and retrace the historic steps of Blockbusters that used to be.
When did Blockbusters come to Jersey?
Blockbusters came to Jersey, God knows.
I miss it all. I miss Blockbusters. I miss H&B. I miss Woolworths.
Probably while I was in London.
No.
That's when
what are you talking about? Then. Yeah, it was before. Yeah, so I'd say it's before that. Or can you remember renting from Blockbusters while she lived there?
I don't think so. I think it was. That's why we used to go to Don Road before I went to London.
And we probably weren't just keeping it real. Wow, that's mad. Blockbusters does feel quite early because the one in Crystal Palace was fucking awesome. It was huge.
Yeah, man.
And that was sort of early, very sort of around 1990, that 91 that came in. It was fucking massive. And yeah, because do you remember you could rent from the hole in the wall as well, couldn't you?
Already familiar with it.
You still fucking owe me 10 quid for that, you cunt.
What?
You still owe me money for that.
What? For what?
Because I tried to return the video for you and it wouldn't let me do it. So you ended up being charged an amount of money, and then I lent you some money, so I'm not fucking paying you back because you didn't return the video on time. Well, I did return the video on time, but it wouldn't fucking let me.
What? No way. It would have been
if you returned it late, it's like you've got to pay more. It was like you've got to pay more.
That sounds like Dave.
It was fucking awful. And then
Don't
I
exaggerate.
Money,
There's no way it was
fucking paying you back. It might have been a fiver then. It might have been a fiver.
I just want to say that was not very good behaviour, Dave.
What? No, this is what it was.
Thanks for returning it, Kyle. Don't worry.
This is what it was.
I think that I watched it. I think he gave it to me to return so I could watch it.
I gave it to you. I gave it to you and said, watch it today. And just because obviously you might as well, because it'll make no difference. Just return it. And you probably kept it for another 2 days. And that's why I was like, well,
another 3 weeks.
So now we'll just share the cost, which is actually fair enough. Outrageous. Such slander on this podcast.
I remember renting GTA San Andreas from Blockbuster in Sheffield.
Oh,
I rented it for so long, it was like cost me like 50 quid. I was like, fuck, she just bought it.
Yeah. There should come a cut-off point where it's just like, there you go, you bought it now.
I don't even know what we were talking about now. What were we talking about? I can't remember.
God knows.
Right, so let's get on with Prey, directed by Dan Trachtenberg. Yes, and released in 2022. Andy, do you want to recap the film?
No.
Nice.
Hey, what's that you say? It's Andy's articulate analysis.
Yeah, so basically, in 1719 in the Great Plains, Naru, who is a young Comanche woman, she's trained as a healer, but she dreams of becoming a hunter like her brother, geezer called Tabe. While tracking deer with her dog, Sari.
Tabe,
I
think, was it? Dave,
Tabe.
you watched it today?
Yeah, it was Tabe, yeah. Tabe.
Yeah,
So,
right. Andy, geez, don't you know your Native American? Can't you pronounce Native American?
So sorry about this. Let's just call him T, right? So Naru's out with her dog, and she witnesses this anomaly in the sky, and she takes this as a sign to prove herself. So the anomaly in the sky is the Predator fucking spacecraft coming in. And basically, she wants to be a hunter. She wants to prove herself, and oh god, it's so fucking good. She starts seeing like tracks of like the Predator's feet, and like she tries to tell people. She goes off on a hunt. It doesn't go great for her, so she's a bit pissed off about that. And then basically the film is about her just trying to fucking hunt down the Predator, which is fucking insane. And like on this journey, she like just loads of adventures happen. Like she comes across this grizzly bear, and the Predator's there, and shit gets real. And then she comes across these French voyagers, and they're responsible for killing and skinning this fucking crazy bison, and they put her in a cage, and then some other dude in a cage, and then basically
Who's that?
Did anyone else hear that?
Yeah,
Oh, that was me. Sorry, that was me.
What was
that? Was a television. Sorry.
Are you watching television whilst
who's this female in Dave's house? What's going on?
I'm gonna have to stop just for Shafi's safety. There is some crazy shit going on in that.
Quiet.
Do you know what? That's it. That's me done. That's what happens in the movie. Forget it.
No, carry on.
I don't know why I'm so upset when we interrupt, because it's good that we interrupt.
Because it's so difficult to say the plot, and all I get is fucking interrupted every 20. Oh, you didn't say tape right. Oh, fucking, I'm watching television, or I'm having a wank. Fucking hell.
Yeah,
that's
Dave, could you not put EastEnders in the background? Can you switch the TV on?
So that's that. And then
what's Danny Dyer doing?
I was literally just gonna. Even though I put it on DVD, I was just wondering if Event Horizon was on Amazon Prime. I don't know why.
Is it on Amazon Prime?
I don't know yet. I'll let you know. Yeah.
Where did Annie get up to?
I don't know. She's with the French. She basically was these French guys. She fucks them up, and then she fucks everyone up, and then she fucks the Predator up. End of film. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, okay, Carl, are you happy now because of that awesome recap? Or
this recap can't go in. There's no Andy's articulate analysis in the bonus episodes.
Yeah, I'll edit it. It's fine. It's all good.
Okay, right. So, Andy, you tell us your initial thoughts of the film.
My initial thoughts of the film.
Just a recap of what your feelings are about the film, like a little summary.
Okay.
Your opinion on the film.
Okay. All right. Sound. I love this movie. Mm-hmm. It gets a 93% fuck yeah rating from me.
Whoa. We don't give scores, man.
Interrupted after 20 seconds.
We don't give scores. Shafi will batter you if you give a score.
That's it. Here's my answer, Shaf. It's all right. Next. Unbelievable.
This has really turned sour. We were enjoying ourselves.
Because basically, Kyle and David turned into the Predator against me for some fucking reason.
Oh my god!
What does that make? Does that make me your dog, like following you around?
One of you's a paedophile.
Hey, what about you,
Dave?
Kyle? What's your initial opinion of the film?
Yeah, it was. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. I'd say it's better than. It's not as good as Predator, but I don't know if that's just nostalgia. I don't know. I prefer it to Predator 2. If someone said to me they preferred this to the original Predator, I wouldn't argue with that. I thought it was a really good film. Although in places it is just a rehash of the first film, but obviously different. But yeah, really enjoyed it.
And how about you, Dave?
Yeah, so I watched the dub. I watched the English version on Friday, and I watched the Comanche version today, and I think it's a fucking goddamn masterpiece. It is so good. Yeah, I love Predator 2, but I do put this above Predator 2, and I put it just behind Predator 1. It is
Dave.
So good. What?
Dave, you have basically taken my exact opinion. Those are the exact words I was going to use. Like I said, this is what I said to a friend. This is what I said to a friend. I said that it's better than Predator 2. I think it's way better than Predator 2, and I think it's just as good as the original Predator.
Wow.
But possibly it's too early. Possibly, maybe it's just the fact that it's fresh in my head. But yeah, I do. I don't.
Yeah, no. I need to stress that Predator 1 is better. But
it's not
I thought you said it's just as good. Didn't you say that, or did I imagine that?
You imagine that.
I can't remember.
And then you said your opinion's exactly the same, and then Dave said he had a different opinion to you.
Oh, sorry. Right.
But yeah, no, I would honestly say it's like literally running on its shoulder in the 800-meter race. It is so close. It is unreal. I think Predator wins for me just because I guess the sort of strangeness of those French characters there was something a bit weird about some of them, and the fact that Predator throws in one of my most favorite action scenes before the Predators even arrived. Predator 1 wins for me. But fuck me, the fight she has with those 5 French guys is so good. It is so good.
That's a Warner as well, yeah? It's a Warner.
Yeah. But the thing is, what I like
fucking good.
The thing, because there's been a whole thing about Warners now, isn't it? Like, it feels at times sort of gimmicky in films.
Yeah.
But then the reason why is because it's forced, and they you can tell that the director's making a point of it. Like, they're trying to sort of emphasize that it is a Warner. But like, I feel like this wasn't a film that didn't even make you
think about it.
I think I noticed it when it was happening, but I kind of like, it didn't really take you outside the film. It didn't really make you think that, which a lot of those Warners do that. But yeah, we're going to get to our kind of specific points. But
so your initial thoughts are the same as Dave then, Shafi?
Well, I just fucking love this film. And the thing is that it's like one of those films where it was such a great atmosphere to watch it with Dave and Andy, because, it's so cool kind of having us react to it. Like, well, actually, funny enough, like I spoke to Andy the day after on the Saturday on the phone, and he was like, did you enjoy it? Because you were like really quiet throughout the film. And I was like, but that's just how I sort of watch films. I think the more quiet I am during the film, the more you can tell like I'm actually enjoying it. But I mean, it was such a good atmosphere. So possibly that's what kind of enhanced the viewing, is that I was just watching it with 2 of my best friends, and we were just kind of like reacting to like every sort of set piece. Yeah, if you could, please. And Dave and Andy, you remember that time when that thing happened? And that was so funny, wasn't it? Yeah.
Then you got your dick out.
Exactly. Yeah,
through the popcorn.
Yeah. So when I kind of got home, it's sort of like you'll notice this if you're part of our WhatsApp group, is that we watch a film and then I send loads of messages on WhatsApp about it afterwards, because I just can't stop thinking about the film. I think the last time that happened was, I remember like really kind of loving Black Panther and then always like bombarding you guys with messages, and you're like, yeah, it's not that great. And in the same with Mad Max Fury Road, I remember like I was just sort of pacing around. I was living in a flat that time. I was just pacing around the flat for about hours, after watching Mad Max Fury Road, and this is same thing. I was up until about 2:00 in the morning.
Wow.
Just like thinking about the film and like, seeing other people like react to the film. Because as I said, like I did. Okay. So did I imagine you, Dave, saying it's a masterpiece, or?
No, you didn't. That was 100% factual.
Because I do agree. I think it is a masterpiece. Like,
it's fucking unreal.
I think there are like so many, I sent out a tweet saying, because what I normally do is I don't send out tweets after I watch a film. I kind of just let it sink in.
Yeah.
And don't really sort of,
oh my God, yeah.
that night I sent a tweet saying I don't normally send out reaction tweets after watching film, but I'll have to say this about Prey. It contains all the things I love about films in what this one particular film.
Elaborate for the viewers.
I think the thing I love is when a film. I love it when films don't talk. Dialogue is sparse, and basically what you're learning about the character you're watching and the world that you're watching is all done visually. And and that's what I loved about this, another film like that. I mean,
just to interject, she does talk to the dog, but it's in Comanche and it's not subtitled, so you don't know what she's saying anyway. Which kind of links in with that.
Sorry, even like the French characters, there's no subtitles there as well.
All I heard was Chien. They kept saying Chien all the time.
So
you kind of know exactly what they're saying, don't you? You've seen those sort of films 100 times. It doesn't really matter what they're saying, does it? And then that one guy can speak Comanche, isn't it? So that's pretty awesome.
But it's what I love about action films, because whereas in the best type of action films I love are the ones that they don't talk too much. They just basically let the action do the storytelling. It's interesting, like you guys were like lambasting the Predator. The Predator was written and directed by Shane Black. I remember Shane Black saying in an interview that he doesn't like action films where it's just action from beginning to end. Like he likes it where it slows down and lets like the character talk and you get to know the character and stuff like that. It's like, well, no, you don't need that. You don't need quippy dialogue and stuff like that in between action scenes.
See, going back to the Predator, I thought that even at the end, I thought that some of the action was pretty good, but just the bits where it slows down and they are talking, like you said.
I
want to switch off. It's just like, I don't give a fuck about any of this. Bored.
But you can't slag Shane Black off for like sort of the script writing quality and like Lethal Weapon.
Don't get me wrong, Shane Black is basically like one of my like screenwriting idols, like and I've like read like the Last Boy Scout screenplay like so many times, and I always sort of give like extracts of that, like and he don't get me wrong there, but I think regarding sort of action films, it just there's a sweet spot that I love. And as I said, it's got to do with the show don't tell, And I think there it feels like a lot of I don't want to get into the discourse about superhero films, but I just think a lot of modern action films, there's just too much talking where let the action let us see what the character does, and that should inform us enough about who the character is.
Actually,
and
go on. I guess Hard Boiled's quite a good example of that, isn't it? You just watch Tequila's adventure, and he's just in his jazz bar and shit like that, and you feel like you know him, you feel like you're best friends with him, but he doesn't say much in that film.
In that film, there's a lot of standing around, and when they're sort of like down like in the bunker of the hospital and stuff like that, and they're just kind of standing around and do like Tequila's always like rubbing the back. He's rubbing the back of his neck, and and one thing is that he's very sort of spontaneous the way he sort of shoots a gun. So he was sort of kind of like, he'll shoot a gun like out of nowhere. And it's the same with that kind of opening scene as well. He's sort of talking to his partner about kind of like asking like to see a photo of his kids and stuff like that. But out of nowhere, he just kind of smashes the bird cage and, start kind of shooting up the place. And, I just love that. And that's what I love. It's a lot of why I love like a TV show like Samurai Jack, because there's hardly any dialogue in Samurai Jack episodes. There's just like, but it tells you everything you need to know about that character and the world just visually. And it's exactly why I love that last 20 minutes of the original Predator, because there's hardly any dialogue. It's Arnie by himself, and he's lost everything. He's at this kind of hopeless place, and he feels that I've got to kind of beat the Predator at its own game. It's sort of like that, how how the structure of this film kind of works as well.
When he's making the traps, it's so good, man.
Yeah.
And they keep replaying that same score. That
it's so good.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a bit more of a personal preference for Sheffy there. Like, I love what you're saying, and I get what you're saying, but I love an action film that's got a great script as well, and it's sort of, you do get the character development. I think that can be great. Like, even something as simple as Debt Collectors and stuff like that. It's just
those films. What I'm saying is the films that I'm talking about do have character development, but the character development is in front of your eyes without the character talking.
I think it's just don't bore me is what I'm asking for. But I love your point. But I'm just thinking, don't bore me. Don't fill it. Don't feel like you have to have unnecessary conversations in the film or sort of delve too deep into an action character, especially the bad guy and stuff like that. But yeah, I certainly like your point.
Andy, what were like the highlights of the film? What were your sort of favourite parts?
The bear.
Mm-hmm.
The bear scene, I couldn't believe what was going on. Like the fact that when the predator picked up the bear, that was the next level. I like the fact you saw the predator but didn't see the predator, if you know what I mean, early on. Like,
so should we just recap what happens in that bear scene? Because it's quite a long sequence, right?
Yeah, you do though, because all I know is he picked him up.
I can't remember. But I know that basically the bear
went after the dog, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He went after the dog, that's right. So the dog runs off, she goes to find the dog, and then the bear is chasing after the dog. Dave, am I right?
It chases her, and then she dives into the water and swims into a beaver dam, isn't she?
Yeah.
And then the bear's on top trying to get into the beaver dam, nearly gets her. Then it just stops.
And then the predator punches the bear.
Yeah, exactly. Then they just have a fucking fight. Yeah.
So you guys saw the proper full scale predator versus a bear fight, yeah?
What do you mean?
What?
Well, because I was just suddenly thought it wasn't different. Like, cut this out of the film, but because in the trailer it kind of looks like the bear's just attacking her. And he pulls it out and kills it. But you guys saw the predator and the bear go toe to toe in a fist fight, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We saw the same film, Dave.
What the fuck are you talking about? You were at my house watching it with me.
I know. It's weird.
Different films.
He knocks it out. He punches it, knocks it out.
Yeah,
not just the bear. We had a laugh.
Awesome.
We had a conversation about it.
It was fucking awesome. Because he was like properly wrestling with the bear.
Yeah. And then he
was like camouflaging.
Yeah, he like hooks the bear like Mickey in Snatch, and it just like, it was such a good punch to the face. I was like, fucking hell, that's flawless.
Sorry, have I entered the Twilight Zone?
And then he does the Ultimate Warrior above his head. Just like,
No, sorry, I don't know. I must have gone mental there. I've got the trailer. I did watch.
Can I just ask? Did anyone watch the film?
Yeah.
So that was a highlight. The fight scene that you guys were on about before, that was fucking next level. Well, that really was next level.
Do you hear the noise I made after that fight scene? I was like, fucking yeah.
Yeah.
When that fight scene ended, so basically when Naru fights the French people and there's that Wanna, I was like, after it ended, I was like, fuck yes. I was just like, it was so good. It was so great.
Yeah.
But you missed out that other great fight against the two guys, the three guys as well. That happens pretty much straight after. That was awesome.
Was with the rest against the rest of the tribe, or? Yeah,
so the first guy gets nailed with the spikes, and the other two sort of go into a fist fight with it, and they both get mullered as well. I just love how the Predator's camouflage just sort of, when something hits it or ricochets, it goes. I just love the effect of that. It just is so cool.
At the end of that fight, Naru and the guy running, they're hiding in the grass, and the guy's like, I can see it. That was like a callback to when Dylan and Mac.
Duke, yeah.
Dylan and Mac. He's like,
Dylan and Mac.
He's like, I can see it. Yeah, you can see it in the trees, don't they? And then they try and get near it, and then you see the three dots on Mac's head, and his head gets exploded. But yeah, so that's very similar. I don't even know the name of the guy she's with, but he's like, I can see it. But then obviously the three dots appear on his head. She chucks him out of the way. So it's just a bit of a
But one thing I've not seen before in a Predator film is the three dots splitting.
Yeah.
That was mad. That freaked me out a bit. I didn't get that. I don't know how that's happening. I was a bit like, oh. So they must kind of rotate inside, like they're kind of cylinder.
I didn't want to get into the lore. I'm sure people will tell us if we're wrong. Again, tell us that we're wrong. So this Predator seemed more of a less futuristic Predator. So like his mask is not futuristic. His weapons.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a laser, does he? He's like he shoots darts. Whereas in Alien versus Predator, they're back in like ancient Egyptian times, aren't they? With the pyramids, and they seem like modern predators. So, are they saying that that's no longer canon?
But this Predator's much better equipped. It's even got a shield and.
But he's got no lasers, does he? He shoots darts.
He does have that. He does have the proper cannon gun though as well, doesn't he?
Does he? I don't think he does. No, he shoots like darts, and he doesn't have the nuke. He doesn't. You know when he takes off his gauntlet, it's not a nuke. It's going to be a nuke. It's like these weird three things that just explode. Yeah.
Battery's not included.
What did everyone think of the new design of the Predator?
I quite liked it, but I do prefer the old look. I have to be fair.
It was slimmed down, wasn't it? It wasn't like as tanky as.
Yeah, I wish he was more tankier.
I did like the helmet though. Thought like the bone helmet was really cool.
Yeah, skull mask.
It looked. I think it looked scarier though. It looked more like
weird,
a monster.
Yeah.
It definitely looked more like a monster.
Where if you look at like the Predator previous iterations, you can see two eyes and you can see sort of like you can almost see like facial expressions, and where this is basically like a fucking monster. It's like this beast.
The Pred does kind of have quite a cool reaction when he decapitates that guy using his shield. He does kind of do a kind of fuck, that was cool kind of thing, or fuck, I'm cool kind of look. And even at the end, he kind of looks a bit dopey. I was a bit upset with that. He kind of goes, oh, as the fucking thing flies around and gets him straight in the head. He's kind of a bit like I was just a bit like, No. I remember, that was a bit too dopey human for me. But yeah. I do dig the
because you've seen it twice then. I'm guessing you prefer the first version that we saw.
Well, honestly, there's no difference. No difference.
But it's dubbed though. The second version was dubbed, right?
Yeah, it's really surreal because it's like obviously I've never experienced that where you're watching an English film and it's dubbed. You're watching an English film, so the mouth movement is English, but I'm reading subtitles. So it was a bit weird, but it was better because I just couldn't deal with the fact that hearing them talking English, it was just weird. So because I'm sort of reading it, and I'm sort of only I'm trying not to look at their mouth. So it is better. If anyone was watching it for the first time, I'd recommend Comanche. But it's difficult though, because you are going to miss out on some of the action. So I'd just say go back and forth, just watch this film at least 10 times and just 5 of each would be my advice.
And did your opinion change of the film after a second viewing? Or
I liked it more, but I think that's just because I sort of was like, fucking hell, my rewind button got used a lot. There were some scenes I watched about 4 or 5 times, and maybe that one shot fight scene with the Frenchies, I watched that 10 times. I just couldn't get enough of it. It's fucking unreal. Yeah, just like some action films have just got so much in them that you need to watch it a few times before you appreciate just how awesome it is. Oh my god, what a film! Yeah,
and I really liked the scene where. Sorry, mate, go on.
I was going to say like the zinger, the line that gets the line that made all 3 of us go, "Way!"
Oh, if it bleeds, we can kill it.
Yeah,
man, that was fucking gangster.
Yeah.
It's not. He doesn't say if it bleeds we can kill it. They say something slightly different.
What does he say?
It's something like if it bleeds it can be killed.
If it sheds blood we can murder it.
No, it's not that.
Nah.
What is it?
They do. The thing is though, with the Predator they reuse some lines as well, don't they? So what's his name? Boyd Holbrook says. They're trying to escape prison or whatever. And they see some motorbikes. He's like, "Get to the choppers." I was just been like, And when the scientist woman sees the Predator, instead of saying, "You ugly motherfucker," she's like, "You beautiful motherfucker." I was just like, "Oh, go away." Yeah.
It's so bad, isn't it?
Well, sorry, Carl, you're about to say a really good bit that you liked.
Yeah, so it was just the main fight scene where they're tied to that tree, and Predator's just fucking up. He's like, chat with Dave on text before. He turns his cloaking off, doesn't he? So he's fully visible.
Yeah.
And he
just goes toe to toe, doesn't he?
Yeah, with those French people. Yeah, it's awesome, man.
And then when he jumps through the trees as well, I love that. And you sort of see it from sort of looking up at him, and they're trying to shoot the rifles and stuff. I just like, oh mate.
He picks up the trap.
So good.
The trap that catches his leg, he just picks it up and just fucking chucks it at that guy. Like,
I know,
And then, fucking the good bit as well, which is a weapon that you've seen in previous films, but you've not seen it to full effect, is
the
he
net.
throws that net, but you see it just completely like
melts the guy.
He Swiss cheeses him, man, and then
awesome.
The tree as well. The tree is just fucking bits afterwards. Whereas in Predator 2, he uses that. You just see the guy against the wall and then bleeding, don't you? And I think in Alien vs Predator, you see one of the aliens has got like all.
The alien escapes from its blood.
See, and this is an example of what I think regarding like violence in films, right? I think violence. I think violence can be used in films in a good way to make in a necessary way. Now, me and Dave were watching the Purge films recently, and I've got a problem with that film because I feel like I've got a problem with a couple of. I mean, I still like them that series of films, but I think the problem with that film is that it's too tame. It's too for its premise. For its premise, it's too tame. It doesn't. I wanted it to be more exploitative, more sort of like dirty and violent and horrible and creepy. But unfortunately, there doesn't really feel like there's a threat. Where what I love about this film is that it uses violence to kind of show like how much of a threat there is, and just like that original Predator film as well, like and also like seeing the skinless bodies like hanging up in the trees and stuff like that. It gives you like it's a necessary use of like gore.
Dread to the max, isn't it? Dread. Like...
Yeah. And I think that's what I really like. That this film just goes for it regarding the violence, and it's necessary. But maybe it's an obvious point, but
no, it's a great point.
Andy, you've gone kind of quiet. You good?
No, this is just fascinating. I love listening to you legends talk about this.
A scene that I like that didn't even involve the Predator was the sinking in the mud scene and her trying to get out of it.
So good.
Because but also, as I said, it tells you a lot about that character because she's not panicking. She's just basically trying to figure out the best way for her to get out of this situation that she's doing. So she's like, and she's determined. So she sort of, tries different attempts in order to throw that axe. That's what I'm saying. It's like, and that's the sort of person you want fighting against the Predator, is just, someone who's got like a level head about things. We've talked about it before on the podcast, but Arnie and his eyes acting, and Amber Midthunder, she does the eyes acting.
Great eyes,
yeah. She doesn't talk for big chunks of time, but you know exactly what's going on because it's all in the eyes, Chico, if you know what I mean. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And I think she's brilliant in the film. And I think the actor that plays her brother is really good as well.
Yeah, he is,
Right. But, they're both unreal, aren't they?
That fight scene between her, the Predator, and her brother, because it was sort of like, it was daytime, I was thinking, this can't be the final fight, because it feels like there needs to be that build up of like the final kind of part. And that's what then they did that so well as well. It's so badass. He's like, I'm already dead.
Yeah.
He's going to kill me, so I'm just going to do what I can to save you. It's like
It's
Hank
awesome,
in Breaking
isn't it?
Bad, where Hank's like, look, I'm already dead.
Yeah.
Just accept it, don't you?
Mm.
But Andy did have an inconsistency point about the Predator. Andy, do you want to talk about that?
There's this bit in the film where she's like, well, I'm pretty sure like the Predator's chasing her through that grass field at some point, right? And obviously, if he would have caught her, she would have been dead. So that was that. Then about 15, 20 minutes later, the Predator's back within like arm distance of her, and she gives the gun to the French guy. So now the French guy's the threat. And then she just moves to the side, and the Predator's just like not bothered about her anymore. And then the Predator kills the French guy. I was just like, what? What the fuck is this Predator like?
No,
Because she took the drugs to cool her body down.
Yeah, to make her invisible.
Say that again?
So it's like a throwback to the first Predator film. You know, Arnie covers himself in mud so he's invisible.
Yeah.
one of the things she's learned as a gatherer is, and she gives it to one of the guys at the beginning, is taking this flower cools your body to stop your bleeding. So she gives it to the French guy to stop his leg from bleeding, and the predator can't see him. The predator only sees him when he stands on him and he screams and he just spears him.
Oh, and she took that as well herself?
She takes that, she takes that, and then that's why the predator can't see her.
Wow.
So she just moves to the side and he just walks past her.
Oh, fuck me. Fucking hell, this film's amazing. Yeah. Okay, sound.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I love about it. It's action through character.
So yeah, that's quality that she used that skill. I was reading something the other day about what's great about this film as well. It's like in The Predator, like all these like godlike masculine peak of fucking military blah 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 couldn't kill the Predator. Yet this, I don't want to use this word, but like fragile, maybe physically dainty. Actually, like she's more of a badass than all these like guys in the first one.
That's like Aliens. Aliens is all these badasses and they just can't kill him. But then in obviously Alien, she fucking does it. Yeah.
Yeah, what fair play.
Yeah, quickly going back to that whole flower thing. So there's a very simplified version of gender politics in this film is that she wants to be a hunter, but her role within society is to be the gatherer. And what's good is that she uses both skills to defeat the predator because she uses the skills as a gatherer to make herself invisible, and then obviously all of her hunting skills that she's learned to eventually finish him off.
Yeah.
But back to that scene where she's stuck in the mud. When that was happening, I was like, "Oh, here we go. This is how she's going to kill the predator." And then there's a bit as well where you see the predator's targeting was off. And it's like, oh, they're going to use that, like Chekhov's gun or whatever. They're going to use that to kill the predator as well.
When the predator comes out of the mud, that was some horror. That was like pure horror, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think he's just tall. It's probably only about sort of 8 foot deep, maybe. And the way he comes out, that is just pure horror film. That felt like 100% horror because it looks terrifying. Like Sheffy was saying, it's a scarier looking predator. And I was just blown away by the way that was shot. That was pure
I remember like Dave audibly reacting to that when he's coming out the mud.
It was fucking mental, that's why.
Yeah. But I think, sorry, just going back to the gender politics thing, there's a lot of like action films that have female leads where it's basically because there's a bloke writing it, and there's a bloke that wrote Prey as well, but there's a bloke that's writing it where you are just writing a masculine character, but you're just saying that her name's Kate or something, where, what I love about this is it actually like utilizes the female side of that character, as part of the action. And I find that sort of just really refreshing.
The time, I guess the time that it was set in helps with that, but yeah, fucking awesome.
This is where I put my pretentious hat on and, everyone sort of rolls their eyes. But the film I was like comparing this to is Silence of the Lambs, and the fact that there's I'll get back to that bit.
Hold on. My favourite bit in this film was where the predator puts on Goodbye Horses and puts his dick between his legs and goes, "Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me."
That's in the extras, isn't it?
Yeah.
Danny Glover's dancing in the background.
Only people.
Dave's got this predator didn't have fishnets on, aren't you, Dave?
But what I was going to say, because I think Dave's spoken to me about this before, and like outside of this podcast, is that regarding the relationship between the protagonist and Predator, regarding that original Predator, do you think there's like respect between Arnie and the Predator at the end of that film?
Yeah, 100%. Because
100%.
I don't think that the Predator is repeating what Arnie says. I think he's replying. So Arnie's like, "What the hell are you?" or "What the fuck are you? What the hell are you?" And he's like, "No, actually, what the hell are you?"
Yeah, exactly.
He's not just repeating
100%.
what he's saying; he's replying to him.
100%.
Yeah.
Nice. And what do you think about Danny Glover in The Predator?
Don't worry about that. What is your opinion on Danny Glover in Predator 2?
I don't know. I mean, that's what I was wondering. What you think? I think there's probably less of a
respect. But that was a weird Predator. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, every other Predator shows Danny Glover utmost respect, don't they? But yeah, it's a strange one. Yeah.
where I actually think there is in this new film, I think there is like a level of respect between the the predator and this character. I think they know there's like an understanding. Amber Midthunder's character understands the predator more than everyone else around her, and I think possibly, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I think that there's a level of understanding that the predator has of her.
Yeah, it's almost like kung fu movies, isn't it? You just respect the person that batters you.
She understands he's hunting for sport because she knows that if she puts a weapon down, she's safe and it's not going to.
That's mad, isn't it? Because that concept, I mean, did that exist back then? Was sport hunting in any way? Maybe, like if you were just trying to throw an axe at a rabbit like they were and stuff, maybe that was a bit of a sporting element to it. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, it was incredible, wasn't it? The stuff that she works out and stuff, it's unreal.
So that's what I was saying regarding Silence of the Lambs, is that they're both kind of female characters that are on the hunt. They get put down by their kind of peers, their male peers, and also there's someone who where they're on opposite sides, they're at odds with each other, but they have an understanding of each other. So Hannibal Lecter has like an understanding of who Clarice is, and same with Clarice of Hannibal Lecter, and it's the same with these two characters as well. So that's why I just thought it just made me think about Silence of the Lambs.
Do you think Clarice has an understanding of him? I
think so. Well, because that's probably more explored in the sequel, isn't it? She kind of,
Hannibal.
Yeah.
In Hannibal, he really does seem to greatly care for her, doesn't he? And she sort of maybe, I don't know. It's hard to understand him, isn't it? It's just he's quite charming, isn't he? It's just interesting. Yeah. If I may, when Andy was talking about inconsistency, I thought again, it's like, have you never seen an action film? But I feel like the inconsistency in the Predator's strength gets to me sometimes. I know, obviously, at the end of Predator's pulling his punches and just having a bit of a fun, seeing how hard he can hit Arnie in the face before fucking him up. But I just feel like when it comes to a one-on-one sesh with a Predator, it just seems like, fucking hell, this just seems ridiculous to me now. Anytime that happens. Yeah. I know, fair enough. If you jump from the top of a tree and drop an axe into him and stuff, like, fair enough, it's going to knock them for 6. And I mean, maybe the Predator is battered, but at the end of every film, it's beginning to get battered, especially in Predator 2. It's been shot about 6 times with a shotgun. His arm's been chopped off and stuff. So that's how I justify it, because I absolutely loved it, her final fight with him when she was actually going at him and stuff. And that jump from the tree, oh, man. But I just sometimes think that I saw that Predator will right hook out a bear not that long ago. It, like, literally just knocked a bear out with one punch. So, and then it's fighting a human. I'm just like,
So she chops his hand off. She chops his arm off. Is that right?
Yeah. But that's sort of
no. Like, she does something. She uses the
shield. She uses the shield, isn't it? Like,
she gets to a position where he uses the shield. He accidentally cuts his own arm off.
That
bit I didn't really get. I rewound it, watched it again. I didn't really.
I couldn't understand what's going on.
And there's a bit as well where she's about to stab him, but she stops and pulls a weird face. I'm like, why has she done that? I didn't really get that.
That's because it
went back in on itself. Yeah.
Oh,
it won't. Yeah,
it's like a fingerprint,
sort of
like fingerprint.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Like the lawgiver in Dread. It's sort of like, that.
It's Brosnan.
Oh, fuck yeah. I like where she pulled his tooth out and stabbed him with his own
tooth. That was mental, wasn't
it? Oh, fuck yeah. Gosh, so much I'd forgotten.
Do you remember how badass it is when he's trying to decapitate her, pushing down? And you see how fucking crazy that Predator is. God.
I just feel like this film was just going to be talked about for years and years, because there are so many sequences that are kind of like, it's almost episodic. Like, that bit where the Predator kills all the French people. That bit where, the Predator kind of, beats up a bear, or that, that's what I love
her axe, man, the scorpion. Get over here.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
Even like when she's training with her.
It's funny when the Predator's ship went off, and then Shafi, you were like, "Where's that taxi going?"
Yeah, exactly. They made him a packed lunch. Like we'll be back after 2. Yeah. We'll be back after 2 p.m. All right, just make sure you come back here, and we made you a packed lunch. There's some lunch balls in your backpack, and
I'll tell you what was cool when he was like cleaning the skull, like with that.
Oh, the acid just melts it. Yeah.
Oh God,
that's awesome. In Predator 2, is it, Dave?
Yeah.
Or it might be the first.
Sort of. It's sort of like it almost looks like he's sort of got like a suction thing that you get in the
so awesome.
What I also thought was interesting was who are the savages? The Comanche have all got like Hollywood teeth, and you can see them like cleaning their teeth, and they look pretty healthy. Then the French arrive, and they just look like shit. They've got no teeth. It's like who are the savages here?
Yeah.
One of the Comanche guys that literally has like fucking diamond Hollywood teeth. Like, wow, 1700s.
Because I knew in my head that we were probably going to see some sort of colonizers when we see that first bear trap, and she wonders where, she looks at it weirdly like she's never seen anything like it before. I knew in the back of my head, I thought, I bet you that's a colonizer, and and I guess it sort of kind of goes to the themes of the actual film anyway. But
have you talked about that already, Shafi? Or I know you had a bit of a conversation on Twitter with Lindsay, didn't you, about the colonizing bit of it?
But no, I think it is interesting. Yeah, the fact that, would you say that the first film is symbolizing Vietnam? I mean, you could look into it like that, or you could just sort of look at it on the surface and go,
I never really thought that. I'm not even too sure with regards to the colonizers, really. If is it not just a way to bring in more disposable characters? Is it not as simple as that? Bring in the gun.
Here's the gun. Yeah. Oh, the gun you all knew was going to show up.
No, but I mean,
they're just fodder.
It's just like at the end of Apocalypto, right? As in you basically have this character who's basically spent the whole time running for his life, and then, but at the end of it, when they see that ship kind of come to shore, they realize they're all fucked. Well, they don't realize they're all fucked, but we know as the audience that they're all fucked. And it's sort of like, this regarding like the end of their era, and because if you think about it, because we haven't talked about those closing credits, but I didn't give a spoiler at the beginning of this podcast, but so spoilers, the final scene is Amber Midthunder's character having the old gun that is given to Danny Glover at the end of Predator 2.
Which I predicted a few episodes back, which we cut out, but whatever.
Yeah. you predicted that. So
he never said anything. What?
The fact it ended up back in the Predator's hands means that possibly, and then there's those images of the final credits show that the last thing you see is another ship coming to.
It's 3 ships, isn't it?
3 ships, yeah. So possibly they end up just, So, it's sort of like an end of their time, I guess, and that's possibly what. Yeah.
I get that is quite fitting. It's just I guess I just feel like this film has so much anyway. It doesn't need, for want of a better word, need that. But yeah, that is interesting. The end of sort of that lifetime, and and even the Predator could be considered a sort of metaphor of the invading forces and stuff. But that's
what I said. I said regarding like its relationship with Vietnam, because they go to that place under false pretenses in a jungle, and then basically they end up being in a bigger fight than they ever thought they were. Arnie's character ends up losing his whole team.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we ever kind of saw a sequel to that, whether he would have like recovered from being, would that have kind of caused him trauma? Or,
I think the CIA killed him. He got killed.
In Predators, people like keep on wondering why Lawrence Fishburne is in that third act. It's because they wanted Arnie in that third act of the film, and they couldn't get him. Wow. And then they wanted Danny Glover, and Danny Glover didn't end up in the film. So then they end up just randomly killing Lawrence Fishburne, and it's sort of like he's in a different film. We're like, what the fuck's he doing here?
Yeah, that's when that film really goes down.
But yeah, that would have been great if Arnie was in that.
Arnie turned down The Predator as well, didn't he?
Did he? Right.
Yeah.
So what? I didn't even know that. So for Predators, they were going to have Arnie Schwarzenegger as sort of as Dutch, and he was. So they went and kidnapped him, and he still managed to survive for 8 years. I would have hated that if they'd done that.
Arnie agreed to be in AVP if he didn't win the governor thing. Because if I don't become governor, I'll be in AVP, but he obviously became governor. Going
back to Predator 1, I've watched it about 50, 60 times, and I still don't understand it. Honestly, Carl, seriously, I'd say I've watched it 50.
5 or 6 times.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I would watch that 2 or 3 times a year easily, and it's mad, man. I just loved it when I was a kid. I'd say, I'm saying it. I've seen Predator 50 times. It's probably the film that I've seen the most, and Aliens as well, and Predator 2 and The Crow. But I still don't understand what was real and what wasn't real in the story that's been cooked up to get them into the situation. I don't fully understand it because there are still 2 people that have been held hostage. There was still another team there that were.
It doesn't matter, though, does it? Doesn't it?
I've never known what was true and what wasn't. I don't, maybe it's never been clear, but if someone could put that in the comments, I'd greatly appreciate it. Because what was true? Who was the cabinet minister? Was there ever a cabinet minister? What was that other army actually doing there? What were they?
Hold on, Dave, your mic's gone a bit funny.
Oh, sorry. But yeah, that's, I've always wondered. I've never been too sure.
Okay, well, viewers, if you have some comments for Dave, we can forward them on.
Help him out.
Did anybody have any issues with Prey? I had one tiny little, it's probably just being gitsy, but where she is fighting the mountain lion on the tree and she gets knocked off.
Yeah.
And then she wakes up in a tent with her mum. That mountain lion would have fucking fucked her up.
Yeah, I mean, I think there were I think it feels like there were a couple of times where she probably would have got killed in real life, as in the fact that the Predator would have just not have spared her. But no, I kind of agree with that.
Didn't the brother save her though?
The brother
straight away,
saved her, didn't he? Yeah.
The brother was like, no, but that was their plan. It was like you go up on the up of the tree and then lure it in, and I'll get it. So the brother was watching. So I guess the brother killed the lion.
I'm sure he says that he tracked it and killed it later on. I'm pretty certain he said he tracked it and killed it.
Oh, maybe.
But then he admits later on that... No, he does admit later on that he just had to finish it off.
Yeah. Because doesn't she hit it? She hits it slightly as well.
Yeah.
She gets to dig in, and then they both fall, don't they? Yeah.
Andy, do you have any negatives on the film?
Not really negatives, but like this, 3 like Pokemon balls are floating in the air. Like I was hoping for a bigger explosion. Yeah, so when the little explosions happened, I was a bit like, I was a bit disappointed. That's my problem. That's not the film's fault.
I felt the Predator kind of piked it a bit there. It was a bit too early to set those bombs off.
Yeah, and then the bit when she was like in the mud, like I so wanted that to be the bit where I saw the Predator for the first time, but that would have just been too much of an Easter egg type thing. But again, these are problems in my head, not the film.
How about you, Dave? I think you did give me a criticism after you watched the film, but
can you remind me?
You said that
Marco Hanlon, not enough tits.
Oh yeah.
You said the CGI.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, the lion CGI was a bit shit, and I thought like
that's because you just seen RRR.
And then, I thought the actual spaceship CGI was a bit shit, and then maybe
the bear wasn't great in places either. But
it's a bit, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter because the bear looked great in the fight, and that's what matters. And it felt a little bit too sunny and nice, maybe in those few opening scenes. But I'm not even sure if that's criticism now that I think about it. It kind of felt like
it's hard, isn't it?
Disney film at the start. But I don't. Yeah,
we did say that, didn't we? We said this is like
so sunny and it's like a kind of like a real life Disney movie. But I don't have any criticisms, and I put this as what if I can ask, this or Maverick? What do you guys prefer?
Maverick.
Yeah, Maverick.
For me, Praise the best film I've seen this.
Just Pray.
Best film I've seen this year so far.
Honestly, I'm talking 93%.
You guys know Maverick's got Tom Cruise in it, right?
My top 5 of the year, so it was took Maverick and then RRR. Do I put this above RRR? I don't know. Not sure. My other criticism is this film should have ended with all the characters appearing on screen and smiling and their name appearing underneath them.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, Predator has a great intro and it has a great outro.
But what's weird is all the characters look at the screen and smile, apart from Dutch. It's just a still image of Dutch.
I bet you
they I'm not doing that.
I bet, I bet you they asked Arnie, can you just look at the camera as well and go, smile? What are you talking about?
These Arnold Schwarzenegger impressions are so bad. Scott Atkinson did an amazing Arnie accent. I was really impressed with it. It is fucking impressive.
So let me ask you guys a question. If you were to make a follow-up to this film, and with the brief saying, well, think of a genre or a background setting and have a Predator appear in it, what would you choose? So
Can I put the caveat in that you can't say feudal Japan, because that's what everyone's saying. So you've got to come up with something other than that.
Okay, how about you, Kyle?
Green Street Hooligans.
Danny Dyer versus the Predator.
Yeah.
Predator. No, Cockneys versus Predators. Lovely. Now you're talking.
How about you, Andy?
I think I'd like to see the Predator and Jack the Ripper combo, that time. Where Predator maybe is hunting down Jack the Ripper as well. He doesn't know what's going on, and Jack's not sure what's going on. And all these women are getting slaughtered by predators, and
Predator
Jack the Ripper, and just be fucking mad if that went on.
So that's why Jack the Ripper disappeared, because it was a predator that jumped back on the
spaceship.
Got him.
And the government knew, and then they shut it down. Fuck it, I'm going to take this to the big screen.
I'm quit work tomorrow, Andy. Honestly, don't worry, saying what time at work.
And what about you, Dave?
Okay, so I'm going to set it in the future, in a kind of on a sort of brink of collapse, a kind of LA or New York in maybe 13 years' time. I'm going to set it there, if I may.
Nice. Fantastic.
Where are you going for, Chevy? Where are you going for?
I kind of just feel like
Sicario would be good as well, Mexican drug lords.
Oh, yeah, shit. In today's day, or?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, but I kind of feel like there's only certain environments that
the desert's too open, isn't it? Desert's too open.
Possibly, but I definitely don't think it fits in suburbia like America. I don't think it sort of fits in, because that's where the Predator is set, right?
Holy fuck. Kurosawa Predator would be awesome, though, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
That'd be quality.
But that's what everyone's saying. Everyone wants to see it back in sort of Japan.
Westworld.
Yeah.
I can't see it getting to Cowboys versus Predator. I can't see that really working very well.
Yeah, I can't see it really working that, because it needs to be in a natural environment, I
quite like to see Tom Cruise versus Predator, get more of the spaceships in, so we get a fighter jet film with Tom Cruise versus Predator.
I do like the Predator in the concrete jungle. I do.
Yeah,
I know.
But the thing is, the reason why is because they set it up that it's LA, isn't it? It's LA, isn't it? Yeah. They set up that LA is like a hell.
A jungle, It's not real.
It's a kind of a heightened.
A couple of years later, it was pretty much like that in '92, isn't it? Christ.
Jeez, yeah.
So they set it up it's like hell on earth. So the fact is that the Predator being there, it sort of blends in with all the crazy drug shit that's going on. Because
the Predator was attracted to violence and heat, and it just was fucking quality.
So I think that works, and that they basically, there's been this online. There's been this reappraisal of Predator 2. Everyone's sort of uploading clips, and the clip that a lot of people are reacting to is that opening scene in Predator 2 where you see the jungle and then the camera pans up to the city skyline. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any final thoughts on Prey?
Yeah, and I wrote this down. I'm annoyed because someone else from a big podcast that people that listen to that might listen to this tweeted about it. So it makes it look like I'm copying him, but I wrote it down before. I didn't read that. But Shafi told me that it'd been in the news about it beforehand. But I thought it would have been good if they'd not shown the Predator at the beginning and then just kept it quiet. There was a Predator film at all, and then those 3 dots would have appeared. And you'd been like, "Holy fuck, it's a Predator film!"
Holy fuck,
that would have been badass,
quality.
man, yeah.
So yeah, that basically, there's been an interview with Dan Trachtenberg about that, and he said that what he wanted the marketing campaign to be is the first teaser to be just showing like the first few minutes of the film, up until that spaceship appears in the sky, and then it just says, and then like the trailer ends, so you don't know what type of film it is. He wanted that, and then the following trailer would have shown the Predator. But he said like that's how he pitched it to the studio. He basically described a whole like Naru story and stuff like that before even mentioning the Predator.
That would have been really interesting, wouldn't it, if they hadn't revealed that it was a Predator until that point. But yeah, so it's weird, isn't it? Because like Predator fans would have jumped for joy at that moment they see the 3 red dots. For other people, it would be meaningless. And yeah, it's a tough one. I'd have loved to have been at the cinema and not known, and all of a sudden seen those 3 dots. But I guess for the greater good and the greater audience, it probably is best to reveal it as a Predator film. But I don't know.
But also,
you can't keep secrets in Hollywood now, can you?
Exactly. Yeah, that's just what I was going to say. Like nowadays, you can't do that anymore. People talk about, Nope has been released in America for like nearly a month now. No, not a month, but a few weeks now, and we still haven't seen it. And every now and then I see like a detail of the film when I'm sort of scrolling through to it or whatever. It's really annoying, but you can't keep this sort of thing secret, unfortunately.
I want to change my Predator in a film choice, if that's all right. Jackass 5, but the Predator is with them. It just gets involved in shit.
Everyone trying to kick the Predator's balls.
Yeah.
The Predator doing the cup test. Okay, so let's go to one-word reviews.
It's the one-word review. The one-word review. The one-word review from us to you.
Except for Dave, who says, "It's the best."
Andy, what's your one-word review?
Cinema.
Well, it's not being released in cinema, is it?
Yes, that's my point.
Okay.
Will it get released in the cinema?
Would it have done well though? I don't think it'd done well because the last few have been crap and people wouldn't have gone.
I think Tom Cruise should have promoted it.
What about you, Kyle?
I got one. Fucking hell.
It's hard, this, isn't it? Because it's such a good film.
Feral.
What about you, Dave? What's your one-word review?
Masterpiece.
Masterpiece. That's
Two
touche. Okay, and that is us.
Yeah, that's us.
And that's our Predator.
Prey, not Predator.
Oh, sorry. No, it's our Predator special. Kyle, do you want to give the socials?
Yeah, so get in touch with us. Please send any questions, comments, praise, hate mail, or one-word reviews to the Popcorn Postbag at whodroppedthepopcorn. I don't know why I bother, because no one fucking does. Or follow, harass us on Twitter at whopopcorn, or on Instagram and TikTok at whodroppedthepopcorn. You can also leave a review on your podcast app, and please remember to like and subscribe. You've been listening to Who Dropped the Popcorn. We really appreciate it. See you soon. Get to the chopper!
Bye.
Bye.